Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm sorry that there was no video yesterday. I have not been feeling well. And so I have, I just couldn't do it. But I am very happy to be here today. I'm still feeling under the weather, but I am happy that I am at least able to show up. That is my goal every day, is to just show up. So anyway, we are going to dive straight into your reading. Spirit, please show us the messages that Pisces needs to see, that Pisces needs to know right now. So Pisces, if you're new to my channel, I welcome you. These are general messages, so just keep that in mind. Take what resonates and leave the rest, okay? All right, for Pisces, please Spirit, for Pisces, Pisces. Pisces, there is definitely an energy that I feel like has been present for a while, of the fact that it feels like you are really coming to life. It feels like you are really coming out of a period of time where there may have been a lot of internal shifts happening. You may have been coming to a place of deeper understanding of life, of your own soul purpose, of, you know, it feels like this was a very prolific time of internal change, but maybe not as much was happening external to you. And I feel like it has brought you to this place where it is sort of time to take action, or it is time for action to start occurring again in your life. And not to say that nothing happened, but I feel like the purpose of the period of time you've been in leading up to now, it's like it was more observative. You know, it was more like, I mean, things may have been really happening, but it feels like it was more related to learning lessons, or, you know, having some type of spiritual growth, really, or almost like the things that were happening external to you were really catalysts for a lot of internal change or internal observations, and maybe even a sense of learning to trust yourself again. Some of you may have been in a narcissistic relationship that brought you to a place where it was like, you know, this deeper understanding of your own worth, your own value, the complexities that exist in, you know, relationships with people who are toxic. Some of you may have had, it just feels like a whole variety, a whole degree here of, I do feel like there is a sense of manipulation almost, for some of you. I just feel that kind of energy. I can almost see the Magician in reverse, like, and smoke around it. So it feels like there is this kind of almost like out of necessity, there is this learning to trust yourself, learning to trust your gut instinct, learning to trust your intuition all over again, kind of a situation. Or it's like we've had to go so deep within ourselves that we know, really, we've taken an inventory. We know what's there, you know, which knowing yourself is one of the most important, well, if not the most important thing you can do. You know what I mean? So it feels like you're ready for some kind of new phase, where I feel like the energy of like the Wheel of Fortune here, where it's like things start to go in your favor, and you're very uniquely prepared for this to happen because of this period of time that you're now sort of closing out. And it's like you're realizing that what is motivating you, or where this internal energy is really coming from, the source of it is light. The source of it is something good and something positive, and things that are no longer resonating with you are no longer resonating with you because they're not of the same frequency. And it's like you're now understanding that on a deeper basis of almost like I feel the energy of magnets. When something is attracted to you, when something sticks to you, when something makes it the long term, is because frequentially it's a match for you. When things become repelled to you, it may be because the same water that boils the potato or softens the potato hardens the egg. You know, you may have had a shared experience with someone and you came out of it more open, more expansive, more in touch with your intuition, and they came out of it more closed down, more shut down. And it feels like an era or like a period of time that this sort of happened in. I hope this is making sense, but it's almost like you have an inner sense of, I know my right from my wrong, or I know what is resonating or what frequentially is a match to me and what isn't. And I have the confidence to know that I can trust that, and that I know that within me, what is springing forth is coming from a place of light, is coming from a place that is, you know, kind of connected to all that is, and is a positive space. And it's like I'm not responsible to like make another person find that source within themselves, or it's like I can't even do it. Like maybe I have tried, maybe I saw some potential in someone and I tried and I invested and I shared and I, you know, and it sort of maybe it has even come back to bite me, but I've learned, you know. I feel we're on the edge or the precipice of some kind of new beginning here, where it's sort of like this last look backwards of, you know, what happened and what did I learn? How did I grow? What did I learn about myself? It feels almost infinitesimal. It feels like a ripple, like it's larger and larger and larger. All right, take it as it resonates. Now these cards that I'm using here, I feel like I used them in the last reading, and I usually don't ever do that. I have plenty of cards. I don't need to repeat cards for a long time. But they literally kept falling off the shelf. It was bizarre. It was like, first it was one card. I put it on top, then 12 cards or something, you know, like a big chunk fell onto the floor, and I put those on top, and then there was a landslide of cards, and they were laying perfectly flat on a shelf. So I was like, all right, clearly you are trying to come out of the closet. You want to get used. So we're going to dive into this. Yeah, there's just a sense of what's for me will be with me, will stay with me, will endure, and will, it's like elevate with me, will, you know, be able to navigate. It's like the chariot energy, side by side. We will both, or we will, you know, we will come, I don't know. Okay. See, I just literally said you're on the precipice of a new beginning, and you guys got the Ace of Water, Pisces. Like, to me, this is definitely confirmation. You're on the precipice of a new beginning. Gosh, you guys. Wow. Okay. Okay, remember how I just said, I'm pretty sure I just said, it's like we are in this last look backwards where we're like, okay, what happened and what did I learn from it? Or what did I discover about myself? And I feel it's almost like a hall of mirrors where it's like one thing reflects upon another. It's almost like you can't say, you know, this this is what I learned and this is how I grew, because what you learned impacted the way you see so many things, or you're coming to that place. There are like harsh realities in the world that sometimes it's like we really avoid coming to. Like sometimes realizing you're incompatible with a partner. Or, you know, for me, like it was really coming to terms with how toxic my family was. You know, I literally fought. I mean, I could feel it and I knew it. And I knew it as a young child. I knew that there was something wrong, you know what I mean? But like, also my family was one of those families that's like, no, we're the best. Like, we are so much more enlightened. We are so this, you know who you're related to, you know, da 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 da. That it's like my mental programming and my intuition and what I felt and what I knew as a highly sensitive person was that something was really off there. And I fought it and fought it and fought it. And that's how this energy feels. It's like when you finally give in, when you finally say, okay, if this was a healthy situation, I would not constantly feel like this. If this was a healthy situation, it would look way different than this. If it was a healthy situation, people would not be, you know, remanufacturing what happened to suit their purpose, to get their way, to be right. And in fact, people wouldn't even care about being right. They would care about the love and the connection and the relationship. And, you know, it's kind of like if you know someone who watches 24-hour news channels or is like really into politics, and I don't care, I'm not saying one side or another side or anything about it. All the 24-hour news networks are trying to, none of them are truly unbiased, I'll just say that. And it's like, it shuts someone down, it clamps them down. It's like, every day that they spend, they get more deeply entrenched in this is right and this is wrong and those people are bad and I am good. And anytime we're doing anything like that, anytime we're in any kind of environment that is shutting us down or that is causing us to fear our neighbors, fear our, you know, our family members, fear, you know, like, or to label or to judge someone without knowing them, you know, those things make your life smaller and smaller and make your view more myopic and more myopic. And, you know, according to every spiritual teaching I've ever read or that I know, it is about opening up, and it is about loving, and it is finding the commonality, and it is finding, you know, that space where we are the same, not where we are different. And it's focusing on that sameness rather than those differences. And I mean, at the core of the core of the core, just the very fact that you are a spiritual being having a human experience at this time on this earth, we share everything in common. All of the core things we share in common. We are the same. And when we have the capacity to first at least see that and then judge whether someone is safe for us or not safe for us, because there are unsafe people out there for us. But even then, we can just walk away from them. We don't have to try to change them. We don't have to be right. We don't have to, you know, make them feel small or make them feel like they are less than or that they're bad. We can just say, you know what, this isn't in resonance with me. This doesn't resonate with me. And we can, you know, peacefully move in a different direction toward what does resonate with us. You know, we don't have to say, because you don't agree with me, you're bad. And so there's almost this type of energy here where it's almost like we're closing out a cycle of some kind of difference or some kind of, where it's like something wasn't in resonance with you, but and it's like it almost became more and more apparent instead of less and less apparent, even as you worked to balance it out, even as you worked to balance the situation. It's like it grew more and more in a way that you know, that showed you or that exposed that there was a chasm, a like rift there between you and whatever this was. It can be a job, it can be, you know, it doesn't have to be your family, or it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, it doesn't have to be, it can even be you and a past way of living or a past way of thinking that is being exposed to you, that like, wait, this isn't working for me. You know what I mean? This maybe it is something that like really shut you down and fixed you on some type of thing, especially if you've had some type of trauma in your life where, you know, you're really locked in, like, this ruined my life, or because of this I could not grow, or I could not experience the full beauty of life. No matter what has happened to you, you can set yourself free, but you have to work at it, and you have to be willing to see a different way. And sometimes, you know, the universe will put towers in your path as an attempt to break down that way of thinking or that foundation that you've based your life on, because it is faulty. And, you know, I don't know. I know that it's possible. I experienced a ton of like really mind messing up things in my life, but like I constantly have always been, you know, like I absolutely refuse to let this define me, or this, I mean, I still have so much life in front of me. If I want to live the life that I have in front of me to the highest of my ability, my ears are ringing so bad right now, so whatever this message is, it's for somebody. You know, I have to make the decision now in my life to say, you know what, I am not damaged goods. I really, like, what I live through actually makes me stronger, it makes me wiser, and it makes me because I have chosen to dive into healing. I have chosen to dive into all kinds of, you know, frequency healing, you know, yoga, Reiki, you name it. I've done it. I've tried it. I've experienced it in an attempt to have the best life possible moving forward. And recognizing, okay, something happened back there that was traumatic, you know, and I don't want to carry it forward. So there's some kind of decision here where, you know, I see this like last look at the past, last look at the suffering, last look at this sort of scarcity mindset that may have even come from this space, or even where you spent a lot of time trying to balance out a situation where you were giving, and you were not receiving in return. And you see this hand reaching toward the sun. It's like, remember, we do always have this opportunity to choose a future of happiness. And it begins in this moment right now, where we say, you know, I open myself up to healing, where we start those conversations with our spiritual team, or even with ourselves, depending on your belief system. There is no right, there is no wrong, and there is no one path that works for everyone. I definitely have learned that through exploring as many paths as I possibly can, that some things definitely made it better, and some things had no effect, and some things felt like a little bit of a setback, you know? And so, but all of them are valid ways, and all of them have been helpful to someone. So, you know what I mean? It's like choosing that, okay, this doesn't define me. This doesn't say whether I'm a failure or whether I'm a success. This doesn't say whether I'm right or wrong. This doesn't say whether I'm a good person or a bad person. This doesn't define me or my future in any way. I still have my whole life in front of me. I still have this moment right now where I'm choosing to not let the past define me, and I'm choosing to, you know, if it is healing that needs to happen, then okay, find that spot. If it's, you know, letting go of a limited mindset and opening up to a greater perspective, or looking at things through multiple perspectives, which you are uniquely good at, Pisces, then I choose to do that right now, you know, and whatever choice you make in the here and the now will ripple and will affect everything that you do moving forward. You know, and if you don't know where to start, or you feel too weak, or you feel too whatever, too vulnerable in this moment, start with sound therapy. You know, if you go on YouTube, you can choose any kind of frequency. If your heart needs healed, go find 528 megahertz. If your root chakra needs healed, which is your family, your clan, where you come from, go find something that helps with that. You know, guided meditation really helps. Yoga Nidra really helps. And I mean, literally all you have to do is close your eyes and lay back and, you know, listen. You know, so there's so many things that we can do to help ourselves, even if our bodies don't want to do yoga or aren't capable, or we have vertigo or whatever. You know, and even if we feel like we can't meditate, even if we feel like whatever. And, you know, again, not everything works for everyone, but it will get you on a path. And I'm a firm believer, if you take one step or you Google one thing in YouTube, you're going to get new things in your feed. And one of those things is probably going to be a key that unlocks a door. Then that key will unlock another door. It's a journey, and everyone's journey is unique, and it's meant to be that way. We're not the same. We are the same, but we're not the same. We all have a unique soul purpose. We're all here for a different reason, but we are here for a reason. You guys have this autumn harvest. Immediately when this came out, I thought Empress. On the Empress card, there is wheat, which is harvested in the fall. And there is this energy here, because it says harvest and autumn, of that Empress energy. And you have received open up. So this is an energy where I feel like you're manifesting something, you have been manifesting something, you may be receiving it, possibly in the autumn or leading into that time. You also, on the bottom of the deck, have this regret, this repression energy, which is, you know, as long as we sit there, as long as we say, this happened to me, and we keep repeating that to ourselves, and even like, like, that, or with the repression, it's like feeling a certain way on a deep level, and then saying, you know, no, I can't feel that way. Like, I keep getting this feeling of like, when I was interacting a lot with my family, like I moved 1,500 miles away from my family immediately. My family all moved to where I was, because I am a highly sensitive person, and they are narcissistic, and they needed me. They cannot process emotion without me. And, you know, they scapegoated me. Everything was my fault, you know, everything. And hysterically, I'm the only one that has a successful relationship. I'm the only one whose kids, like, come home all the time, and, you know, I'm the only one that hasn't been married multiple times. I'm the only one, you know, but it was always my fault. And so, you know, I could have easily stayed in that situation of like, dang, you know, everything is my fault, but fortunately, you know, the way I was made was to know different. I always knew different. I always knew it wasn't my fault. I always knew there was something really toxic going on, especially because, like a lot of you know, 2 of my cousins died very young, and from drug addiction, and like both of their parents were doctors. Like, they came from a very fortunate home. They, you know, had everything, except, you know, emotional support, and they were my best friends. So, you know, there were so many tangible signs that, like, you know, something is really wrong here. But you don't want to believe that. You don't want to believe that. You want to think, okay, I can keep explaining myself, or I can keep sitting down with these people, or I can keep telling them how I feel. And because we love each other, and because we're family, or, you know, even maybe because we're married, or even maybe because we've been dating so long, you know, they're going to finally see something. They're going to finally understand something. And, you know, I did that for 40 years. And at 40, I was like, yeah, no more. Plus, it was taking a toll on my children. And when it takes a toll on your children, you're like, wait, this is not the legacy that I want to leave my children. You know, I want my children to understand love and support, and life is not a competition, and that, you know, we're not comparing ourselves to people next to us. You know, we're not, that's not what this is about. It's about finding your own place and being your own person and celebrating that and having your family celebrate that. But anyway, there's just this energy of I am cutting myself loose from something that that I've had to repress my own feelings to stay inside of. Whether that's a limited belief system, whether that's a relationship, whether that's, you know, whatever that is, I'm setting myself free from that. Something that closed you down, or even, you know, something that took away your ability to be emotionally free with yourself. Even, we're letting that go. We're letting go of something, so that we can have this new beginning, so that we can receive this Ace of Cups. And whether that's an energy of self-love, whether that's an energy of a new partnership or a new beginning in love, whether that is just the answer of, you know, having something that you've been manifesting, or multiple things that you've been manifesting coming towards you, there is definitely this energy of, you know, you have not suffered in vain, and you did not experience those things as like a punishment. You know, I don't know. I am a firm believer that our soul wants to learn specific things while we're here. And, you know, we don't remember that. We don't know that when we come here. And we have certain experiences. You know, I've had my past lives read. You know, apparently my parents were at one time my younger siblings, and I left the home and to start a new life for myself, and they couldn't get out. And apparently, like, I don't know if I didn't help them or what, but that's why I experienced this. But I also got my husband, which I was told was because I had good karma from past lives. So, you know, who knows why we experience what we experience, but we can get buckled down and focused in on that, and just not be able to see anything outside of that, and just identify so completely with that, you know, it becomes, or like, you know, having a relationship that ends in divorce. You know, we change as people, and people either change with us, and we're the chariot and we can move stride for stride into the future with them, or they don't. And that isn't any kind of like statement of who you are, your capacity as a human, if your partner doesn't, and you don't evolve on the same path or the same plan. You know, life is a journey. It's not a destination. And, you know, it is about us at the end of the day. And, you know, why do some of us end up with partners who evolve in the same way we do, or who remain compatible with us forever? I don't know. Even though I've had that experience, I can't say, you know, well, this is the answer. This is, you know, never go to bed mad and you'll have that problem. You won't have that problem. But the truth is, you could marry someone who you're a frequential match to at the time you get married, and, you know, in 10 years or even 5 years, you are not a frequential match to that person anymore. You know, that person may stop growing. That happens a lot in marriages, and you may continue to grow and evolve, and, you know, and then it's like there's this huge rift between you, and you may not necessarily want to acknowledge it or admit it. And so you repress it, and you try to stay in there, and you try to do it, but you become a shadow of yourself. You know, you lose your passion, you lose your zest for life, you lose that excitement. And sometimes, you know, when our partners sense that energy, they even try to sort of hold us back or gaslight us or deny us the way that we feel, or that it's even valid. Yeah, okay. So you guys are getting summertime, our love will shine. Loving you is easy, but it's the heartache of your absence that pains me. Our love journey is eternal and enduring. The pain and beauty of our love brings a deeper union. So yeah, you guys, I feel like wow. Woo. It's interesting because this summertime, our love will shine card is actually making me feel of setting some kind of deadline here of sort of saying to yourself, I'm going to give it this much time and this is going to be a definite hard, either it gets better or it doesn't. And I'm going to do every single thing I can do. I'm going to make every free will choice I can make to make this situation better, or and either it will get better or it won't. And there's some kind of, it's like almost like I see like a date on a calendar circled. This can be if you're trying to break some kind of mindset with yourself where you're trying to say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to let my past determine my future. Where it's like, I'm going to work on this. I'm going, whether or not I feel like it's working or whether or not I feel like, maybe I'm going to try yoga nidra, or maybe I'm going to try guided meditation. And I'm just going to listen to it every day as I'm falling asleep. And I'm going to find some healing guided meditations. I'm going to try some different people. And, everybody says like, oh, I can't meditate. I get that all the time. Everyone can meditate. We are born with the ability to meditate. 100% you can meditate. It's sometimes that we think we know what meditation is, and we think it's like the absence of thought. And if our mind keeps thinking, we think it isn't working. We all experience monkey mind. The more you practice meditation, the more easier it becomes to not get into monkey mind and or to get out of it. But we're all so much the same. We really are so equipped the same. But even if the whole time you're listening to a guided meditation, you feel like you're thinking about other things and you can't make yourself stop, and you don't know if it's working and it's stressing you out because you don't want to waste your time on something. If you just say, I'm going to try this for 30 days, or I'm going to attempt this, or I'm going to listen to frequency healing every night as I go to bed, or first thing when I wake up in the morning, or I'm going to find, there are videos that are called like Lucky Girl Syndrome, where they have mantras that they recite, and you just listen to that while you drink your coffee in the morning, or while you put your makeup on, or while you shave, or while you brush your teeth. Just trying something, committing to one thing, and then saying, I'm going to evaluate in 30 days whether or not this helped or it didn't help. Or with a relationship, okay, I'm going to communicate everything, I'm going to try everything. I did this with my family, because I really did not take it lightly to walk away. And it was like, the more I became a pillar of peace and a pillar of consciousness, the more my family just spewed toxic. I mean, it was like, as I grew my ability to maintain an unchangeable, unfazed pillar of consciousness with myself, where I did not respond to what was being dished out to me, it's like it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, until it was like, okay, this is not a tenable situation. Every boundary I set, they had zero respect for. It becomes extremely clear, when you really put your entire focus and your entire energy into, okay, I need to know if this is going to work or not. Like, I refuse to maintain the status quo, and I'm making a decision here. Does this work for me or not? That's what I feel. I feel like trying something, putting your whole self into this energy, and again, I feel like one of the strongest, most powerful things we can do, and a great place to begin, is to surrender. Is to say, listen, angels, spirit team, divine, God, universe, whomever it is, whatever it is, for you, does not matter. you know, I recognize that this is something that is holding me back as a spiritual being, and I'm asking for your help. I'm asking you to intercede on my behalf to help change this, or to help show me the direction that I need to go. I'm surrendering this to you. I have given it everything I can. I'm going to continue to give it everything I can. I'm giving it until this time. You know, please do what you can for this situation, like, and open me up and help me to heal and help me to see inside myself what I need to see here. You know what I mean? And then you have loving you is easy, but it's the heartache of your absence that pains me. When you have gotten yourself in a pattern where, you know, it's like sometimes letting go is the hardest thing that we can do. You know, it is the biggest challenge, especially when something has been a part of your life for a long time, like a way of thinking, a way of seeing things, a relationship, whatever it is. It's like that it becomes part of your identity. And it becomes something where it's like, you know, separating yourself from it is, it's I don't know how to say it. It's almost like unwelcome. You can talk yourself out of it a million times, which I feel with this repressed energy. Like, you know, like I'm not trying to continuously bring up my family, but it does feel this way. Like, my family is a really good time. They're really, you know, intelligent people. They like to have a good time. My mom was an absolutely like amazing cook. My dad was very gregarious and like really like so intelligent, and you know, loved to drink and could be the life of a party. And my brother is extremely charismatic, and you know, it was a real high sometimes to be around them. If everything was really good, it was a real, like, you know, you would just feel so energized and inspired by the experience. But it would always break down, you know, into something where it was like people were talking about each other, people were judging each other, people were like really espousing on what's right and what's wrong. You know, just a lot of like that. So there are like good times, or there is something good here, or there was something good here. Or, you know, we don't adopt a way of thinking because we have no choice. We adopt a way of thinking in a way of processing and surviving. And so if you've had a way of thinking for a long time, especially if it was something you developed as a child, you really don't know any other way to process it, or you really haven't experienced, or you can't remember processing it any other way. But as an adult, as someone who's had a lot more experiences, as children, we don't know that things are going to be okay. Things are going to change. And so, you know, when something happens, it can feel like, wow, this is the end of the world, or this could be. And the fear we feel as a vulnerable person who is dependent on external situations, it's like, you know, how we develop that way of processing. It's like we sometimes don't even see it. We don't even know it. We don't even realize that we're putting it through that filter, and we don't know that there's another way. So when you open yourself up to healing, and, you know, even if it's listening to frequency, even if it's, you know, whatever it is, it automatically sort of starts to attune you to a different vibration, to a different frequency. And it starts aligning you with a different way of thinking that sort of helps expose that to you. But again, you have to consciously choose to practice it. So there, but it's like, until you know a different way, and until you've experienced a different way, the way that you've been doing it is a bit of a security blanket, and it is serving some purpose for you in your life. You know, and you have to evaluate that, you know, because, you know, you got to evaluate it. Then it says our love journey is eternal and enduring. Sorry. I feel like this is talking about us, like our journey. It is eternal. You know, we are a work in progress in a very grand scope of something that moves past time and space, you know? And so when we look at that, it can help us sort of remove ourselves from this energy that right here, what's happening right now is, you know, so pivotal and critical. It can help us see something in context rather than down in it, where it feels like I can't really get out of it, or I can't see another way, or I can't, it is the biggest thing that's happening to me right now kind of energy. And then it says on the bottom of the deck, the beauty and pain of our love brings a deeper union. For me, this is talking about a union with ourself, or with the universe, or with our highest and best self, or even our intuition here. You know, when we realize, like, you know, I have come to a place, I used to be really like not okay with how toxic my family was. I really felt a lot of blame, and I really felt a lot of, you know, anger even about the situation, and about, you know, how it just was sort of hopeless. Like there was no ability to really change it. There was no ability for us all to sort of grow and evolve into a place where we could be homogenous and loving and in unity with each other. Like I really was so resentful, and I felt so vulnerable. You know, when you cut yourself off from your family, you're like an orphan. I mean, thank God I have an amazing husband and kids, right? But, you know, and then it feels like you're so vulnerable. If someone wants to say something about you, you don't really have this team behind you to say, no, you know, that's not true, or whatever. But what happens ultimately is you become so okay with yourself, and so okay with your truth, and so okay with your authenticity, because you've had to really evaluate it. You've had to really sit with it. You've had to choose it over what is easier. And when you do that, it strengthens you in a way that I don't know how to really put into words. And it is something, it is a beauty that is born out of a terrible pain. I remember when I separated from my family, that song, like a small boat on the ocean, with one match I can cause an explosion. That song, Rachel Platten, the fight song, it came out, and I used to blast it on the loudspeakers of my house, like the speakers in the ceiling of my house, and I would clean my house, and it would just be on repeat play, and I would try to do something constructive, but like that really was like something that really was like a mantra that really helped me get through it. And it's funny, when I listen to it now, it has such a different energy to it than it did then. You know, when I was at the height of that, all those feelings of being vulnerable, of, you know, it's like, you know, of having this tremendous ending. I mean, when you lose your entire family in one breath, in one moment, I mean, that's a very powerful experience, let me tell you. And I literally went to yoga as many times as I could every week. And then I went into the yoga teacher training, and then, you know, I was doing meditations and pineal gland meditations and just all of these things to heal. Kirtans, I mean, just everything. I cried so much, and it was just my body purging all of this pain, purging all of this energy. And, you know, and that's why I always say to people, if you cry, let it out, let it go. It is so healthy to just let that emotion move through your body. And, you know, that's why I think yoga is so cathartic, is because that's what yoga does. It moves energy through your body. It allows things that have gotten stuck and are burdening you, it sets them free. And You know, everyone can do some form of yoga. Yoga Nidra is amazing. There's chair yoga, there's, you know, and if you find yourself saying, I don't want to, or I can't, evaluate that. Evaluate that. Just evaluate it. Just look at it. Just look at it. Yeah. All right, guys, we're diving into the tarot. I don't know. This is a crazy reading right here. And by the way, I'm not suggesting that like ending relationships and walking away from people is always the answer. Absolutely not. You know, I feel like if you can heal something, if you can mend something, if you can put something back together, then by all means, you know, try that. I mean, if that's where you feel guided, if that's what's in resonation with you, then do that. But when you're repressing your true feelings, or even what your intuition is telling you, if you're having to shove that down and stuff that down, you got to ask yourself how healthy that is for you. Well, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to ask yourself that, but I highly recommend it. The more questions we ask ourselves, the more we know ourselves and the better we are. Okay. Oh yeah. Something is, it's a matter of time. Something is really unhappy here. So with the Four of Water on the bottom of the deck, there, and the Queen of Earth here and the Seven of Earth, there is something here where it's not satisfying. There's some boredom, there's some discontent, there's this energy of, you know, something isn't working for me. Something is not either playing the role in my life that it could, or something is actually draining me or taking energy away. Something is making me feel rejected. Something is making me feel like I'm not good enough or like I'm not worthy. Okay. And with the Seven of Earth and the Queen of Earth, this is something that happens sometimes in our life so that we see our worth, so that we understand our worth, so that we find that worth, so that we focus consciously our mind on that worth, so that we don't accept less than we deserve, so that we go for it in life, so that we live our true potential and our true soul purpose here. Let me clarify. And it's a matter of time. With the Seven of Earth, it is a matter of time. Yeah, it's you know, with Temperance here, this is healing. Oh, wow. It's Five of Wands. There may be some delay. There may be some obstacle. There may be some conflict, some confusion, some drama that is happening possibly external to you or like in your life that is bringing you, it's happening for a reason, and it's bringing you to this place for you to heal, for you to rebalance, ground center, become that pillar of consciousness in your own life. Of like, no, I know myself. I know myself. Yeah. Oh my God. With the Queen of Earth, this is being clarified by the Hangman, which is your energy, Pisces. And this is an energy where, you know, when you look back on a situation and, you know, it's like how they say hindsight is 20/20. Well, it is. When everybody says something, it's because it's true, usually, or it's a common experience. This is an energy of, you know, looking back and being able to see, you know, especially if this is like, you know, childhood trauma or something, there is this energy of, you know, when I look back, I can see what was unfair about it or what was wrong about it or why I chose to process it this way. I didn't have any other way of getting through it. If this is about, you know, a long-term relationship or something, this can be like looking at who we were and looking at, you know, what value we held for ourselves in that space, or whether we were even consciously aware or even thinking about our own self-worth in that space when we started this relationship. Or it's like, even like as we have grown, as we have changed, as we have evolved in the material world, you know, you can start to see where your partner stayed the same and you changed, or, like sometimes I talk about my best friend, and, she got divorced after like 23 years. And her partner, she was like, you should have seen him back in the day, but he really turned to alcohol. And, she continued to evolve, and she was very successful, and she, continued to grow, and she had a ton of friends, and she had quite a life. And the alcohol made her partner, close down his life, and close down his life, and close down his life, and shut down, and be less reliable and less reliable and less fun. And, they went in totally opposite directions. And you can sort of see where that happened, or possibly that what you were looking for in a partner at the time that you found that partner is very, very different than what you would be looking for in a partner now. Which I feel like was kind of the case with her. I think she wanted someone who was fun and really energized and whatever, and I think he was like that at that time. But those same things sort of took him down a path, and they took her down a different path, So, there's that, and it led her to a place where she couldn't be happy in that connection anymore, and it was holding her back, because every time she would go out with friends, or every time, she didn't want to, acquiesce to what he wanted to do, he got angry, and she got tired of dealing with it. But it's not that she didn't try. It's that she couldn't play small. She couldn't reduce herself to fit in that situation. So, okay. Well, she didn't want to, because she knew her value. She understood it. Okay, yeah, so something is clearly falling apart, or has fallen apart, or did fall apart. The Ten of Fire came out in reverse. This deck creator does not want you to take cards in reverse. I do pay attention to it. Wow, yeah. So, I literally saw the best quote on Instagram about the Tower, and it's a Rumi quote. Here it is. Where there is ruin, there is hope of treasure. Yeah. I just think that is like an amazing quote to go with the Tower card. And Malakim, I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, Tarot on Instagram posted that. And it's actually, if you really like tarot, that's a really good person to follow, I feel like, on Instagram. You can see the Tower is the 16 and the Star card is the 17. The Tower comes right before the Star card energy. Things fall apart in order for them to heal. Things happen to where we can't hold it all together anymore. We can't sustain something that is built on a faulty foundation, forever. If something is meant to fall, it's going to fall. And it's okay. Like, these things happen. That's why they say attachment is the root of all suffering. The whole foundation of this experience is that everything is impermanent. Nothing lasts forever. Everything is in a constant state of change. So if we get super attached to something being the way that it is, or feeling like something has to stay the way that it is, then we suffer much more greatly. And it's falling apart is sort of inevitable, What's happening is that something here it's like the burdens add up and the burdens stack up. And whether this is a way of thinking that we are maintaining in our own life, whether this is something where, it's like, I'm always seeing my life through a scarcity mindset or whatever. And it's like, the universe, like life, whatever life force energy, whatever divinity you believe in, it loves you, it wants you to love yourself the way that it loves you. You know what I mean? And regardless of what you believe in, you know? And so it becomes a huge conflict within us, and it becomes very burdensome when we're holding on to a belief that isn't in resonance with that. That is the purest resonance. You are born in a state of love. You are born in a state of peace, and you spend your entire life trying to get back there. And so the things in your life that don't resonate with that, that don't vibrate with that love of self, you know, and you know, they become very burdensome. And when they become burdensome, with the 10 of Wands and the Tower, the universe intercedes and says, this has to fall. You know, this Tower is coming in, and it's coming in for a beautiful reason. It's coming in because it is the harbinger of hope. This moment will end, and where it does, where this moment completes, where it falls apart, guess what's going to take over? Guess what comes next? Hope, healing, the restoration of faith, this new energy, the beginning of the beginning. You know, it's really the beginning of the end, because where do we go after the Star card? We hit the end of the major arcana. We hit the bottom of the cycle that comes back up again with the Fool card, and then the Magician, and then the High Priestess, right? So let me clarify. Star card. Wow, okay. Yeah, you guys, see, you have this, okay. There's this energy. Remember how I was saying to you, I almost see the Magician in reverse with smoke around it? Like, I couldn't totally make it out, but I really felt that it was the energy of the Magician in reverse. I'm actually getting like King of Wands in reverse. See how he has the staff in his hands? The King of Wands, when the King of Wands is in reverse, there's an energy of like, I know what I want, but I can't do it. I can't make it happen. There isn't action I can take to make this happen. Sometimes it's because you're relying on someone else or something outside of yourself to help make this happen. I mean, if you're in a relationship, you can't make the relationship healthy or successful just because you want it to be, and just because you're putting all your effort and energy. What ends up happening is you overgive, and then the whole thing falls apart because it becomes imbalanced. You know, you don't have that type of power. You don't have that type of control. And so there's this energy of there's something here, but what that really tells us is that something isn't in alignment with us. So maybe even sometimes it is what we want is not in alignment with our destiny, our fate, you know, what is in our highest and best. With the 10 of Wands, with the 7 of Wands, it's this energy of repression that I keep getting, where it's like, I keep fighting this ending. It's like, it's burdensome, it's heavy, it's hard, but I keep fighting it. I keep resisting it. And with the Queen of Swords and the Tower on the bottoms of your decks here, there is this energy with the Queen of Swords, which is, you know, having gone through a very difficult cycle. Remember how I said in the beginning, the same water that softens the potato hardens the egg. With the Queen of Swords, that is our choice. If we choose to allow something to teach us, and to find the gift in it, and to find, you know, an elevated sense of discernment, where it's like, I trust myself even more because I've had this experience. Not, my intuition failed me, I trust myself less. You know, I feel, you know what I mean? Because the same experience will have that effect on two people. Different. Do you feel what I'm saying to you? And for some of you, I feel like that's what's happened, because this analogy keeps coming up for me. And it's like, with this Queen of Swords, there's this energy with the Tower of a breakthrough, of someone who's being set free by the same experience that is closing another person down, which frequently happens. And this can just be you with you, where we're finally some experience that we may have learned to process in a way of just surviving or just getting through it, has kind of closed us down or caused us to identify ourselves in a certain way. With this Queen of Swords and this Tower, it's like we're able to bust through it. We're able to see it in a new way. We're able to have clarity. We're able to change our way of thinking in a way that really opens us up instead of closing us down. We can bust through that energy. Something major is coming in here, Pisces, and this energy here is preparing you for it, for your ability to like sort of, I feel like, make the most of it. Yeah. Yeah. This is one of my favorite cards, the Eight of Fire, in this deck. Actually, I love this deck. It's called the Good Tarot. If you're interested in it, it's really, truly beautiful. And I like it because you only take the cards upright, so you're not really wondering what it means. With the Messenger of Earth and the Eight of Fire and the Messenger of Fire, like, it takes a variability out of it for you if you're reading for yourself. This is this energy where these are pages, okay? And with pages, they are messengers. They are also students. And as you can see with both of these cards, there are these crowns on top of their head, which for me is always like expansion of our way of thinking. It's a deeper level of connection to us, to our higher self, or to the universe, or to all that is. It is looking at something from a more elevated point of view through the learning of something new. With the Page of Pentacles, which is what this is, it is an energy of learning a spiritual lesson. With the Page of Fire, this is the decision and the determination of what I desire and no longer letting anything keep me from what I desire. It's like trusting that I'm desiring this for a reason and that I'm moving in this direction for a reason. With the Eight of Fire, this is almost like the wind at your back kind of energy. This is an energy where you can move very far, very fast. It's a very freeing energy. It's moving forward without any obstacle or any delay. With the Eight of Fire, this can also be, it's a card that we call Cupid's arrow in tarot, where it can be where you may meet someone out of the blue, where you just have this ability to really move forward very quickly with them, where it's like a very compatible relationship. The more you communicate, the more you get to know someone, the more you realize, wow, we're on the same page here, which makes moving forward very, very easy. Or much easier than, trying to understand someone else's language even. This can also talk about the delivery of a message, the way that we're communicating something. Wow. Wow. Jesus, what a group of cards here. All of them swords. So for some of you, this is definitely talking about setting yourself free from a way of thinking. There's a spiritual lesson around fear. And this can be, fear is fear. Some of us have we all have fear. I mean, that's just part of the human condition. We are equipped with fear for a reason that is actually quite helpful, but fear has a tendency to be used as a form of manipulation by people outside of us. And also, once we learn that life isn't fair and that life is, has things happen in life that cause suffering or that are difficult. But really, especially with that hangman in the beginning, it's not life itself that causes the suffering. It's our perspective. It's our lens. It's the way that we're viewing it. Well, okay, take that however you want to take it. But with this, okay, we had that Queen of Swords. Now we have the King of Swords. You also, that's a divine pair, right? But it's also where With the Queen of Swords, we got this clarity because that Queen of Swords came out with the Tower. We got this, we had a breakthrough. With the King, this is where we're able to take action. This is where we're able to integrate it into our life. And with the Six of Swords coming underneath this, and especially with both of these cards clarifying the Eight of Wands, this is where when we really truly change our way of thinking, or we start to look at something in a totally different way, it brings us to the place of peace that we are seeking. Once we're in that place of peace, then we are moving without obstacle. The obstacle is a way of thinking or a way of seeing things, or, kind of something that we're telling ourselves that is causing us to stay in a place that is misaligned with our truth, or with what is really meant for us, with the Seven of Swords here. Yeah, with Justice, it may be some kind of major decision here. Wow. See, I do feel, you guys, I feel like you definitely have, you have someone coming in. This could be, if this is about a relationship, this can be where you have an opportunity to have some kind of really important conversation with someone where we're all authentic and we're all kind of on the same foot, or starting off on the same level here. But it's honest and it's really genuine. And with the Nine of Earth and the Ten of Earth, at first we come to a place of peace and stability with ourselves, and a place where we are no longer afraid, or where we're no longer letting fear kind of dictate our decisions. Like we learn from that fear. We learn from, what we are afraid of. And we are stronger and more powerful. It's like I was telling you, when I left my family, I really felt so vulnerable. I really felt like a ship lost at sea. I felt kind of rudderless and sort of like, oh my gosh, I'm so vulnerable. Oh my gosh, at least I was part of this clan. At least I was part of this group. Even though that group was like killing me, and having just a negative effect on like almost every aspect of my life, if not every aspect of my life. I mean, I was very successful at my career, mostly because I didn't want to be around my family, and my career was traveling. Not my husband and my children, but my other family. And it was only in hindsight, that you start to really realize that. Plus, I think I was always trying to make them proud, and I achieved like really amazing things. And, my mom was like, oh, I'm just waiting for you to get a real job. I was like a photographer. My photography has been in Broadway playbills and in museums and galleries, like almost all over the world. And my mom was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for you to get a real job, kind of energy. And yet, so when I broke apart from them, I was able to sort of stand in recognition of myself and go, whoa, I've achieved a lot. I have accomplished a lot. I do have the ability to be successful. I'm not this loser that I've been made to believe I am my whole life. You know what I mean? And so let me look at myself through that lens. And with the Nine of Earth, it starts within us. It starts with us first, and it starts with us evaluating ourselves and looking at ourselves and looking at our own self-worth and our own value and our own ability to create success in our own lives, and to believe in it, and to believe in ourselves, and to believe that, like, if I was a complete loser, I couldn't have done that. If I was who they want me to believe I was, then how could I have achieved that? Which is like often the case with people like me. You either totally succumb to it and believe that about yourself, or you just have something within you that tells you all the time, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true. Which puts you in a state of conflict with that situation, in which you cannot harmonize with it, which means that you have to break free of it. And with the Ten of Earth, there is this energy of then being able to come together in a partnership where that is your legacy, where that is your purpose, that is what you leave behind when you are gone, is this solid and stable, understanding. Honey has the chicken. but you know, that enables you to be this solid pillar, not just for yourself, but as a partner, as a parent, as, you know, a teammate and a team member, as whatever. That's the energy that you bring to everything that you do. And with the Page of Water, this comes from a sense of, you know, authenticity. I also feel like when you get here yourself, there is something really beautiful that comes in that actually leads you to your legacy, that actually leads you to this space where you find true partnership, or you find something that is in resonation with who you are now, with this energy of knowing that at the core of the core of the core, at the root of the root of the root, you are made of light. I don't know if I've told you guys this, but like through yoga teacher training, I sort of became really interested in the pineal gland. The pineal gland is our third eye. It looks like the eye of Horus in Egypt, Egyptology, you know, their pictures and stuff, if you know what I'm talking about. Inside our pineal gland are these tiny grains of sand that vibrate with the vibration of the universe. And this is how we are all connected. We're all on this vibration. So my vibration affects your vibration. Your vibration affects my vibration. Even if I've never met you, even if you are on the other side of the world from me, we're affecting each other. And we're affecting the vibration of the universe overall, right? So that's the collective consciousness, that vibration. So like they did this study, even like with Alzheimer's patients, when they, you know, dissected, I guess, the pineal gland in people who had Alzheimer's, that sand had clumped together. And so it wasn't able to vibrate. It was these clumps that, you know, couldn't get in touch with the vibration of the universe, right? They couldn't, you know, bounce like those fine grains of sand could. And someone you know, with these little grains of sand took a hammer and hit it, and light was emitted. So at the core of the core of the core, the part of us that vibrates with the universe is light, is made of light, becomes light again. So yeah, I don't know why I told you all that, but obviously I'm getting a delivery. I'm very sorry. Wow, we end how we began. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously? Wow. You have a new beginning coming in. You have this full card energy. You have the king. Oh my gosh, you guys, the 10 of Cups under this full card energy. You have the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. Guys, I'm telling you, you're on the precipice of something new. You have the King of Cups with the 7 of Discs. Remember, we started, our very first card was the 7 of Pentacles. And this is a card of divine timing. Also, with these rainbow discs, it's giving me the energy of our chakras and aligning our chakras with this new beginning, which I feel like is the entire purpose of this reading. Okay, we're all energetic beings. All of us are. There's nothing we can do about it. We're energetic. And that's why our vibration extends way outside ourselves. And actually, the further away we can learn to get from ourselves, the more opportunity we have to like kind of rise up into our limitlessness. But anyway, you have the King of Cups with the 7 of Discs here. I feel like you have a great love coming. I feel like there will be someone who shows up for you, Pisces. With this full card energy, this is like almost having a beginner's mind, almost like coming at something like loving as if you haven't been hurt before. You know, being able to open up in a way that maybe you haven't ever in your life been able to really open up. And it is sort of because you have gone through something that has caused you to come to your core of your core of your core and discover that at your core, there is light. And at your core, that is what you choose. And that you constantly choose that. And that you're looking for that in a partner. Someone who also is constantly choosing the light and the love. And it cares about how something makes you feel, and cares about creating a space that is emotionally safe and healthy, you know? Wow. All right, Pisces, we're going to dive right into your message cards here. What a reading. I didn't see this coming. Sometimes when a reading is like this, I'll get it in meditation. But like, I am totally under the weather. I'm like sweating with a fever right now. Okay, you have unavailable. This person is unable to give you all you deserve. Yeah, see, I felt that. You have passion. See, I feel this is affecting your ability to be passionate about your own life and about your own, to be in touch with your passion. That's why we see this King of Wands in reverse. Wanting something that isn't working, or that you can't take action in, or that isn't in your control, it prevents you from being able to focus on what really makes you happy, because you're real hung up on that. You're real focused on that. Okay, you broke my heart. Finding out the truth crushed me. I'm not over you. I don't know why this happened. Okay, if you're dealing with a fire sign, mastery, you've learned the spiritual lesson. We definitely saw that. Soulmate, your soulmate loves, accepts, and respects you. I miss seeing you. Vulnerability, you can be completely open with this person. All right, if you're dealing with an earth sign, there could even be a situation where there's a relationship where there is love, but it's like, I'm getting like a spark plug. You know, if a spark plug isn't completely adjusted correctly, like the spark can't do what the spark needs to do. That happened in my Jeep one time. And that's what I'm getting. It's like, it's all there. The ingredients are all there, but because there's a misalignment somewhere, it can't happen like that. I don't know. If you're dealing with an earth sign, the timing wasn't right for us. I wonder if you are happy without me. Chemistry. So we either have to choose to go into the mechanic and adjust the spark plug and just both acknowledge that that's what needs to happen, or, you know what I mean? I don't know. If one of us chooses to adjust the spark plug and the other one doesn't, then that sort of says something too, you know? Are they choosing the light? Are they choosing love? Because we can't make someone do that. The only thing we can do is choose what's best for ourselves and hope that that shows someone else what's possible, or leads someone else in that direction. Chemistry, the attraction you feel is mutual. I don't know how you feel. Strictly sexual. This connection is passionate but not enduring. Okay, if you're dealing with an air sign, you're getting decision. It's time to decide about this relationship. I am waiting patiently. Play hard. Find time to laugh, goof off, and enjoy each other. We both know I'm not the one for you. I need security. I have trouble with intimacy and regret. Someone feels remorse for the way they treated you. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for you. I really hope this helps. I hope that, you know, this brought you some peace and some clarity. Interesting journey we've been on, and a very long reading. It is indeed. Anyway, please let me know in the comments if this reading resonates, if it helps, if it, you know, anything. I appreciate all your comments. Until next time, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.